If it is or if it ain't, it's going to come out. Good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love. Your daily dose of inspiration and juice. It is May the 29th, 2023, and today the topic is the line in the sand. Happy Monday and happy Memorial Day. I hope that you guys had a wonderful weekend. Mine was just fine. Yes, mine was just fine overall. Basically what happened over the weekend for me, y'all already know that Saturday I had an interview with Playing for Keeps. Yes, the Playing for Keeps podcast, and everything like that, and it was nice. So Saturday after I did the juice, whatever, I was trying to just woosah and relax before the interview and whatnot, and but, it's been a little time with my fam. It was a little outside time. My husband had got on the grill, make some chicken and whatnot. And, yeah, soon I was getting ready for the interview. And then after that, I pretty much came on back home. So, but it was like a whole little process, though. It was like, okay, getting ready and then making sure I had to get some gas. And then I wanted to run to the store because I wanted to give one of my books to the host and whatnot. And so there was like a lot of little tasks, and it was like every gas station I went to was like, not say rejecting my car, but it seemed like my car wasn't working and stuff. I'm like, listen, what is it? But yeah, everything got done, and whatnot. And then, yesterday was Sunday, and it was also Neon Day at the church, at least in the kids ministry or whatever. And so, I dressed accordingly. So those that follow me on social media, you guys can see what me and NJ wore to Neon Day. It was so funny because my husband didn't see us leaving out. And when we got back home, he was like, what was it, tacky day today? It's like, it was Neon Day, husband. But anywho, basically, it was interesting because the past couple of Sundays, I have been like working all three services. And usually they like to let me, sit in at least one service or whatever the case is. But the past couple of Sundays with everything that has been going on, like Mother's Day, as well as we were doing a new system of check-in and whatnot the Sunday after that, I've been doing all three services. So yesterday, I was intending to do all three services again. And then, like, when I got to the third service, the lady that I'm working with or under, however you want to look at it, she was like, oh, go sit in service. I was like, you good? You got it? And she's like, yeah. And so I went. And y'all, listen. If the message went for me, then I don't know what to tell you, man. Listen. So, first of all, there was a guest speaker at the church because I guess our, Pastor Mo, he's in the Philippines, I believe, and doing some missionary work or whatever the case is. And the guest speaker, I can't even remember her name right now, but she was a lady or whatever, and she's speaking and whatnot, and at some point I feel like I could see, like it's like everything was lining up in regards to why I got a chance to take communion as well. So that was something else that happened yesterday as well, before the message. But then ultimately, she was speaking, and I felt like she was speaking directly to me, especially because some of the things that she spoke was things that had been on my heart and mind, and I was praying about when I was on my way to church and things like that. So to get that like immediate confirmation like right then was it was touching. I ended up going again in prayer as well. So shout out to the prayer team there. Shout out to the lady. I can't remember her name in this moment. But yeah. So you guys may be wondering, man, line in the sand, the line in the sand. Well, there's a lot of things that have inspired this conversation today. But I would say that what I received yesterday in the sermon and whatnot that I listened to was maybe part of the inspiration as well. This isn't no surprise, really, because I feel like, again, I've shared a lot of things, especially that I go through or whatever, since I've been doing this whole thing, the juice, right? So this may not be a surprise here, but you guys may or may not know that, obviously, I guess I struggle when it comes to this concept of boundaries. It's been this thing repeated throughout, especially my adult life, during the cultivation period and everything. When it came to friends, when it came to dating, when it came to, just about everything, it seems like. And it seems like it's still somewhat of an issue. And again, I was praying about, these things or whatnot, on how to handle some situations and stuff, because, at the end of the day, again, I don't know if it's just me, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's just maybe the way I was raised, maybe being here in the South is another thing, because I know there's a totally different, I think, way that people are raised down here versus like in other places. Things like that. And so this conversation of boundaries coming up in my life again, I feel like it's important, though. I feel like it's important because, at the end of the day, as I was praying yesterday, again, on the way to church, one of the things that came out of my lips is that, perhaps this is one of the things that is that God is working on in me to get me to the next level of where He wants me to be. And I have to, I guess, get this part under control or whatever the case is. And it might be difficult, it might be a difficult thing to take a stand and to do something different and to draw the line in the sand, right? And so that's what the conversation is about today. And I hope that it encourages you and inspires you, whoever you are listening to the sound of my voice, that if there's an area, and there might be several areas, because here I am, a living witness that, I have to do this in several areas of my life, to set boundaries, and ultimately I have to ask the question of myself, like, at the end of the day, who am I going to serve? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, as believers, are you going to serve the Lord or not? And again, it may look crazy to people. People may not understand it. It may be something that's like, it'll be this thing. Of course, there will be some contention. There may be even offense or anything like that, you guys. So I guess on one hand, this is just another form of persecution as well and whatnot. And this thing, what I'm finding is this thing will come in a variety of ways. Like, you may handle it in one way, and then next thing you know, you got to go set some boundaries over in this way. And now you got to set boundaries in that way. You got to draw the line in the sand at the end of the day. You have to choose who you're going to serve. Are you going to serve the Lord, or are you going to serve man? Are you going to serve the Lord, or are you going to serve your sin? Are you going to serve the Lord, or fill in the blank? Fill in the blank, y'all. And at the end of the day, I guess I'm here to proclaim, because that was one word that was standing out to me this morning as I was listening to the prayer and meditation, the word proclaim. So here I am today to proclaim that I am going to draw the line in the sand, and I'm going to serve the Lord regardless of opinions, regardless of the way people feel, regardless of anything else. It has to be Jesus over everything around here. You know what I'm saying? At least for me, everybody has to work out their own salvation with fear and trembling. Everybody has to make that decision for themselves. But here I am to proclaim what I'm about to do or what I'm doing. And again, that might look weird. That might feel weird. People may not understand it, all that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, I don't know what else to say or do about that other than, study, seek the Lord for wisdom and everything on how to handle each and every situation and whatnot. But I guess here it is. The line is in the sand for me because the Lord has done too much for me to go back in any way. I don't want to be who I was before. I'm not going back to being, any other thing. Like as long as the Lord allows me to continue to have the joy, peace, love, and all the other things that He's establishing in my life right now, I'm not trying to go backwards. At the end of the day, and that's where I'm at. Mentally and everything. And it's just one of those things, y'all, where it's like, again, we all have to make that decision for ourselves. We all have to, again, choose. So that's where the inspiration came from, but let's get into it. What are you talking about, Miracle? Well, here's some verses and whatnot that stood out to me this morning. Okay. Joshua 24:15. It says, "And if it is evil in your eyes to serve the Lord, choose this day whom you will serve, whether the gods your fathers served in the region beyond the river, or the gods of the Amorites, in whose land you dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." Listen, again, I'm not sitting here trying to act like I'm perfect or nothing. You know what I mean? I'm not perfect. My husband's not perfect. My child ain't perfect. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing's perfect. You know what I mean? In regards to, again, me trying to puff myself up in any way to be like, I'm going to serve the Lord. Ha ha. It's not like that at all. I humbly say that I'm going to choose to serve the Lord. And I humbly say that I totally feel like sometimes that I don't know exactly what that looks like. How it's going to turn out and all these different things. And again, I feel like I come here and I share it every day. The ups, the downs, the highs, the lows. But throughout it all, the common denominator is the peace, the joy, the love, and the things that, and God constantly being there in my life and helping me through each and every one of the things. So again, there's no judgment from me, in regards to everybody, again, hey, just like this verse say, choose you this day. Hey, if you don't think serving the Lord or doing what the Bible say or any of that is, if that's evil in your eyes, then hey, do whatever it is that you do. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm going to do is this, and I'm going to try my best to do what the Bible say. I'm going to try my best to, live accordingly. I'm going to try my best to serve the Lord and do what it is that I feel like He is leading me to do. Now, will that look, what I've come to find again over these past few years, the things that, now again, maybe the Lord just, I don't know, maybe it's just one of the situations where, all things have worked together for the good because, I love the Lord and things like that. Maybe He didn't approve of every single move that I've done in life or something. I don't know. I guess I can have, we can have that conversation when I'm in His presence, and everything like that. But what I have seen in my life again is that yes, all things have worked together for my good. I do see myself in a path and going a way, and and the things that doesn't necessarily make sense. Like for example, I guess I got to draw the line here, when it comes to like this whole debate that I go through, because I got people on one side telling me I need to be more like this or that, and X, Y, and Z. But I've also had what has happened in my life. The more that I continue to pour out love, to do the will of God, to try my best to love people accordingly and treat people right and all that type of stuff, the Lord continues to make things work in my favor. Even though it don't feel good when I'm going through the low moments and the going through those battles and whatnot. But at the end of the day, the more that I don't take my own vengeance, the more that I don't take that I allow the Lord to fight my battles in that regard, and I just do my best and continue to love, continue to show whatever it is, the grace and mercy that has been bestowed upon me, the more I have peace. And I'd rather have the peace than to sit here and try to combat everybody's, whatever, and try to take things in my own hands and then go off on people or do that or be anything outside of who God created me to be. At the end of the day, like, I don't know, like on one hand, I could play good characters and stuff like that, I might could play somebody that got a little attitude in a show or on a movie. But when you meet Miracle in real life, I'm really just chill, low key. Like, I don't too much get into, I don't try to get into like no, like issues and things of that nature. Like for by the grace of God, He has shielded me from a lot of things, I would say, probably situations that I've been in that probably could have got physical, people probably could have got real mad at me and all kinds of things, but I haven't necessarily had to deal with, that type of stuff in regards to, maybe somebody putting their hands on me, the whole arguing thing, there was a little bit of arguments in regards to certain relationships that I was in, but but overall in life, when I put my whole 30-some years, what I'm saying? Like, the Lord has, made a way for me in regards to, I guess sometimes I wonder, like, again, because I go back and forth, because people are, oh, you're too nice, or whatever the case is. But hey, I don't know, y'all. I'm going to draw a line in the sand with that and say that I'm going to continue to do things according to the Bible. It's telling me to allow God to fight my battles. You know what I'm saying? It's telling me to turn the other cheek. It's telling me to, leap the coals of kindness on people's heads. And at the end of the day, as I've done that, here I am today saying that I'm living in a blessed position. Now, again, is there persecution and is there worse things probably to come? Yeah, I guess I might as well go ahead and prepare, because again, that is in the Bible as well, that, hey, expect persecution. God Himself did not, like turn away wrath, persecution, even death, and so obviously, I have to, again, even as I was getting ready to do this thing today and praying before I got started and stuff, I just was like, well, Lord, at the end of the day, I know that this will be, again, drawing a line in the sand to, again, proclaim this. But at the same time, too, I'm not going to doubt or fear, because at the end of the day, I know what the Lord has done for me in my life. And whether people think I'm crazy or any of the things, it don't really matter at the end of the day. The only thing that matters is the Lord and His will. and we'll all see in the end, who's right, who's wrong, and all of that. But yeah, I hope, again, you guys are encouraged to draw the line in the sand when it comes to that. Who are you going to serve? Are you going to serve God, or are you going to serve man? Now, I came across Psalm 16, 5-9 this morning. And as I was reading it, I felt like it was a beautiful description of where I am in my life, where I am mentally, and everything like that. And again, I know things can change. You know what I'm saying? I know that, well, for example, it's Memorial Day today, and we celebrate Memorial Day remembering those that have lost their lives for our freedom here in America, and, so I understand that, the Bible is telling us that life is like a vapor. You know what I'm saying? I understand that, I have the story of my father, for example, I'm sure he had all the dreams and everything like that, but, he only was blessed with 2 years of marriage and one child, you know what I mean? And that he didn't get a chance to meet, and so I understand that, and things are not promised. Tomorrow is not promised and things of that nature. But as for this moment, right, as for today, here's where I am in life. And this is, I guess, hopefully to help you guys understand why I'm drawing lines in the sand. Because at the end of the day, I really want to stay here. And I know there's more to do. I know God, there's more dreams, more goals and things like that. And as the Lord allows me to live and everything like that, there is more to do. Each and every day she has a new breath, new breath, new day, new opportunities, and new things to do and stuff like that. But let's just talk about the present moment, okay? So here's where I am in the present moment, y'all. Psalm 16, 5 through 9. It says, "The Lord is my chosen portion, and my cup, you hold my lot. The lines have fallen for me in pleasant places. Indeed, I have a beautiful inheritance. I bless the Lord who gives me counsel in the night. Also, my heart instructs me. I have set the Lord always before me because he is at my right hand. I shall not be shaken. Therefore, my heart is glad and my whole being rejoice. My flesh also dwells secure." That's where your girl is at. And that's why I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back to where I was before. At the end of the day, listen, y'all can read all about it in the cultivation period. I still got things I go back and forth like, Lord, should I do this? Should I do that? I'm not sure. I want to get clear X, Y, and Z. But outside of that, y'all, I'm at peace. And I want to stay at peace. And I'm going to draw a line in the sand when it comes to my peace at the end of the day. And there's been times when I've been practicing a lot more these days. I would say over the past few years, the word no has become more frequent in my vocabulary than it's probably ever been in life, and people, may or may not understand it, for the most part, it's kind of been, accepted to a certain extent, but it's just very interesting to me that when I say no, it seems like it's the whole thing. But then other people tell me no all the time. And I don't look at them no way about it. I don't change. No, there's no love lost. At the end of the day, the no has to be no and the yes has to be yes. And that's also biblical as well. I want to keep my peace, y'all. I don't know where y'all at, what y'all like, and what y'all want and stuff like that. But I want to continue to be at peace, live in peace, At the end of the day, again, now granted, okay, again, I know persecution is part of being a Christian, you know what I'm saying? And I know that, again, everything ain't peaches and cream. You come to the faith, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you're going to go through some trials and tribulations. I'm not sitting here trying to act like, I'm someone that I'm still in the place of expecting that everything's going to be perfect and I'm not going to go through no issues and nothing like that. Yes. And I'm sure as I draw a line in the sand here, again, I might have to draw another line in the sand over there, just to establish what the boundaries and whatnot is going to be. That's what I find, But I'm just saying, in this moment, this is why I think it's very important for me to draw these lines in the sand. Because to maintain the peace of mind that God has given me. At the end of the day, again, I feel like there's too much that the Lord has me doing. Instead of that, these next verses might answer the question. So let me keep going. Now, these next couple of verses I'm going to read together. And they might be pulp. It might be something we don't like today. But I guess we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to just go ahead and read them and then we'll see what the Lord has to say through me. So, first I'm going to start with Proverbs 25 and 17, and then I'm going to read Galatians 6 and 5. But like I said, I'm going to read them together. This is what they say. "Let your foot be seldom in your neighbor's house, lest he have his fill of you and hate you. For each will have to bear his own load." Now listen, I don't know if that's pulp. Y'all don't like that. Y'all know, X, Y, and Z. I don't know. But these verses stood out to me today because, again, this is a line in the sand that I had to draw. And it's very interesting because I'm in several chats or whatnot. And there's this ladies chat or whatnot that is like me and my sister and some of our friends are in this ladies chat because we've been getting together and doing things over the past year. And one of the ladies shared a video yesterday, and I didn't get a chance to watch the whole thing, but the beginning of it, the lady that was speaking was talking about how, I guess bearing other people's burdens. and things like that, and understanding that at some point you can't take on everything and hold on to it. Like some things you gotta, even if someone it brings you their burden, right? You can, you can be there for them, and everything like that, but you can't make it your life. You know what I mean? You can't take it on and carry it for them and things like that. You can help them take that thing to the Lord. And that's the line that's the line right there. That's a line in the sand there. Bearing each other burdens, yes. Being there for one another, yes. But also understanding that the balance of this all is that some of this stuff is the Lord's things. And then, and I can't take those things that's the Lord's things. I can't be in your house, and bearing your burdens. Like we all got it. At the end of the day, the Bible tells us to work out our own salvation with fear and trembling. And these verses here, again, is saying that we have to, each will bear his own load. Like, so I can only do so much to a certain extent. And I know that, and I have to be okay with that. And I have to draw that line in the sand to say, there's certain things that I can do, but there's certain things that only God can do. And those things that only God can do, I can be there to assist, and I can be there to listen. I can be there to try to uplift or whatever it is that the Lord is calling me to do. But outside of that, can I take that on and make it my life? No, I cannot. No, I cannot. This actually reminds me of the movie I was in. Those of y'all that know, okay. And it was very interesting during that time because the character that I was playing, she was going through she went through PTSD. She was like a very dark, moody character. And there were times where it seemed like the director wanted me to be dark and moody in my real life. And I'm not that type of actor. I'm not that type of actor that's like, oh, I have to live, like I have to play this character while in my regular life or whatever case is. Like I'm the type of actor that can, I guess, turn it on and turn it off. I don't know, what I'm saying, how people may feel about that or whatever, but regardless, I know me, what I'm saying, versus the character that I was playing. So at the end of the day, there was no need for me to walk around like I'm dark and moody and sad or whatever the case is when that wasn't my life. And so I feel like that's the same in this scenario of having to, when, again, you can be there for people, you can be a listening ear, you can even pray for them or whatever the case may be. But there's a certain line that we have to draw in regards to bearing other people's burdens. Like we can't take on those things as our life. Like, again, I couldn't take on my character's life, fictional life, as my life, and it was just very interesting too because I was pregnant around that time. So my real life was very evident during that time. And yeah, I'm not going to walk around moody and sad and mad and all that if that ain't my life, and even if that is my life, if I'm going to be a believer, I got to have hope and joy and peace and all the other stuff that the Lord says comes with that. So, I guess, again, y'all, just a reminder every now and then, we got to have a little, we got to draw the line in the sand. Where are we going to be? Again, who are you going to serve? And I guess to wrap that up, here's a verse right here, y'all. It's Acts 5:29. It says, but Peter and the apostles answered, we must obey God rather than man. Friends, if you're struggling with that today, because and again, maybe I'm struggling, I'm struggling in some ways to figure that out. Because again, you don't want to, hurt people's feelings. You don't want to, things like that. You want to be there for people. You want to be, sometimes you just want to be everything to everybody. But at the end of the day, you can't be everything. I can only be me. At the end of the day, I'm an individual, and I am my own person, Why in this moment I'm reminded of Angela Stanton King, but she's a very strong advocate for a pro-life advocate or whatever. And she constantly reiterates to people that at the end of the day, none of us are our mother, for example. They try to push this narrative that like, oh, my body, my choice, but none of us have our mother's body, for example. None of us are someone else. We are all each individuals. Okay, and God has made us so unique that everything is unique about us, from our fingerprints to the numbers of the hairs on our head to our personalities to everything. And at the end of the day, and that's okay. That is beautiful. You know what I mean? It's beautiful to be different. It's beautiful to be, you. It's a beautiful thing to be you. And I don't know if anybody else needed to be reminded of that or whatever the case is, but there it is for you. I hope that you're encouraged and inspired to hear that. Because at the end of the day, again, people, you guys have heard these phrases. They say, if you give a person an inch, they'll take a mile. Or they also say, people will treat you how you allow them to treat you, things like that. So you have to draw lines in the sand, people. You definitely have to draw a line in the sand when it comes to this conversation about Christ and what you're going to do and things like that. You guys can fill in the blank of where this fits in your life, y'all. At the end of the day, whether it's in relationships or, the government or whatever this line in the sand may be. I hope that you're encouraged to draw. Yes, I hope that you are encouraged and inspired to draw that line, you guys, because that's ultimately the juice this morning. The verses in the Go Deeper section, and the article that's in the Go Deeper section, I believe, should also encourage you and inspire you on the importance of drawing the line in the sand and things like that. Like I said, that's the juice this morning, y'all, and that's where I'm at in life, and yeah. So, hey, the Bible verse of today, friend, the Bible verse of today is John 15:13. It says, greater love hath no man than this, than a man lay down his life for his friends. And on this Memorial Day, I hope that we all remember that. And again, remember those that have laid down their life for us to enjoy the freedoms that we are enjoying, and things like that. And yeah, I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye. Did you know that you can support us for just 99 cents a month? That's right, friends. You can support everything that we do here at GSL for just 99 cents a month. Take a look around wherever this post is. You might see a link or maybe even a button that says support. Go there, check out the options, consider supporting us because, we enjoy bringing you all the daily inspiration as well as the weekly talk show, but we have much, much more to come. Thank you so much for the consideration. Bye-bye.